Alright, for the first knot, I'll be doing the reef knot. It's a fantastic knot, being able to bind two ropes together. The easy way to do it is I'm using two different colors of rope so you can clearly see how the knot's being tied. With your right hand, you put the right rope over the left and curl it under, and then left over right. There's an easy way to remember this: right over left, left over right. Pull it nice and taut, and as you can see, this rope they're both coming out of the knot in the same manner as the other knot there. That's a clear indication to show you that you've got yourself a perfect reef knot. Alright, for the next knot, I'll be doing the sheet bend. The great thing about the sheet bend is where you need to tie two different types of ropes that are of different thicknesses together. So an easy way to do it is with your thickest rope, you just do a little bit of a bend, a kink in the rope there. With your thinner rope, you loop it through the loop from underneath, twirl it around the rope, go underneath the thinner rope, pull it across, as you can see there, and now you can just slide it down and pull the knot tight. So this is a fantastic knot to tie two different sizes of ropes together. For the next knot, I'm going to show you how to do a sheep shank. The best use for a sheep shank is basically to shorten the length of a rope. Now, the easiest way to learn how to do a sheep shank that I find is to make an S in your rope like so. Grab one side. Now what you're going to do with this long length of rope is you're going to twist it like so. Now what you want is your loop to go through the loop, but you see how this rope is twirled over the main length. It's important that this is the part that it goes over here. This little loop here goes through that hole there, and you pull it a bit tight. Now you do the same thing to the other side. You've got your little loop here. You make a twist in the main length of the rope, making sure that this part is between your loop here and the loop that you're creating in the main length of the rope, and this loop goes through that hole there. Pull it through, pull it tight. Now as you can see, you've now shortened your length of rope. You can put it as tight as you like. For the next video, I'm going to show you how to do a round turn and two half hitches. This is a fantastic knot when you want to attach your rope to a stave or a pole, and it will not slide off at all. So it's quite simple, as the knot is called. Two round turns. So your running end of the rope goes over once, over twice. So there's your two round turns. Now your half hitches. Make sure it's nice and neat. The running end goes in through the loop here. Pull it nice and tight. And back in through underneath here. So now that with your two half hitches, you can use that to slide quite tight onto your pole stave, and this is nice and firm and secure. It will not come off your pole at all. Okay, for the next knot, I'm going to show you how to do a clovage. This is one of my favorite knots of all time. It's a fantastic way to do a simple binding to a pole of sorts. If you want to somehow have a piece of rope that has two ends coming off the pole, if you need to secure two different ends, it creates a knot that attaches itself to the pole without sliding, no matter which way you pull the rope, either from either end. For our purposes here, I'm going to use a shorter end part of the rope, but you can do it quite about halfway down the rope if you want to attach two different things to two separate ropes. So it's quite an easy knot to do. The way I'm going to show you how to do it is you take your running end of your rope over your pole, come in from the right hand side of your main length of rope, cross over the rope here, as you can see, back under the pole, and go back in underneath itself. You can run it down a fair amount, so you can keep feeding it and running it through if you want to go further down the rope. But once you've gotten to where you want to tighten it. You pull both ends nice and tight, and as you can see, it sits quite tight no matter which end of the rope you try and pull. And that is a clovage. Alright, for my next video, it's one of my favorite knots, is the bowline. It's a fantastic knot for safety, for creating a loop in a rope that does not shift. Fantastic for safety, for shipping, all sorts of uses. I use it all the time. The easiest way to learn how to do it is with my left hand, using this sort of pointing maneuver. I twirl the rope underneath the main part. I'll call this the main part of the rope, where the rest of the rope is coming from. Twirl it underneath this rope, so it's kind of going in the direction you're pointing. So your thumb is holding where the rope is going above, and the rope is twirling underneath into the direction of your index finger. With this end of the rope, it's going through the loop from the top, underneath, and going over the main part of the rope, back in the same way as the loop is going here. You pull it nice and tight. Now you've got yourself a bowline. It's a fantastic knot. Great thing about it is the knot doesn't shift, and it's quite easy to break apart by what they call breaking the back.